Hi, my name is Francine and I have ovarian cancer. We don't know how long I have, so my job right now is to make every day count. Hi, everybody. I hope you're doing great. I wanted to first, that we're at the new year, so I need to thank the bit of a latecomers of Christmas cards. So real quick, thank you, Beth D. from Indiana, and thank you, Michelle C. from New Jersey. I really appreciate it. It was only like a day or two late. Hey, makes me happy. Thanks again, and I hope everyone's having a great new year. It's off to an okay start. I've been a little bit low on energy. I wanted to get something up for you sooner, but yeah, energy's been a little bit in the pooper. But that's all right. I don't have a lot to talk about today. New Year's Day, that was very interesting. Now, I live in Pennsylvania now. I'm from New Jersey. And the tradition here is that you have to eat pork and sauerkraut on New Year's Day for good luck for the year. We eloped on New Year's Day, so we had eloped and then came home real quick to have some pork and sauerkraut that I had in the slow cooker. That was a couple of years ago, obviously, a few years. And yeah, that was like what I had to eat on my wedding day. That was not good. And then we threw the rest in the fridge and went on our honeymoon. So I realized that I'm not really a big fan of pork and sauerkraut. However, I do like hot dogs with kraut. So that's what we had last year. And I was like, yeah, okay, that tradition I can have. I can have a hot dog the 1st of January every year. I don't want to mess with I don't mess with tradition. It's not really my tradition, but I don't want to mess with bad luck. So, yeah, so that's what we did. That's odd. But anyway, going into the new year, like I said, a little pooped. It was a lot of holiday for me. We don't usually do kind of like 2 Christmases with family. And then my cousins came up a couple of days ago to on a little bit of a quest, but also to see me. And we had dinner, and it was just really nice. And they're from Cape May, New Jersey. And it made me realize how much I miss them. I miss the shore. I used to see them a lot more. But, we're all getting older. We're all doing things. We're taking care of business. So maybe one of these days. I also wanted to talk to you about health updates. I have not heard from the rheumatoid arthritis place yet. So in the meantime, my GP had gotten some tests run for me, which is like pre-screening for RA. And apparently, everything came out negative. So maybe it's just good old osteopenis. Maybe it's a good old osteopenia. I think that's the way you can say it. I'm not going to edit that. I don't like to edit. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure where to go with it now. We ruled out Lyme's disease, which is good too. And my husband laughed at that, like, where would you have gotten Lyme's, But, I was young. Okay, this is like, what is going on here? Oh, it's a tissue box. Sorry, that my OCD, it was really annoying me. So I had asked the doctor, should I just hold off on making that appointment, as if they're ever going to call me. And I'm actually seeing him next week, so we'll talk about it. In the meantime, I did decide to go with the meloxicam, which is an NSAID that is a little bit stronger than ibuprofen. But I'm not supposed to have NSAIDs long term, so I'm just using it when I need to use it. And that was especially helpful at night, but I can't do it every night. It's not really good for my tummy. So yeah, I don't know what the answer is going to be as far as diagnosis or pain management. So we'll see. The other thing is that I haven't been keeping this from you, but I started therapy a few weeks ago, and the talk therapy with a psychologist. And I'm very pro therapy. And I've actually been looking probably since October, to be honest with you. It's very hard to find someone, especially since COVID. It's very difficult. Either they're not taking on new cases, their caseload's booked, or for whatever reason, they're just, not getting back to me. And I think the biggest mistake that I made was to just do one at a time. Okay, I haven't heard from that person. Let me go for someone else. So if you're looking for, I think, any kind of doctor nowadays, put all your irons in the fire. I should have had four in the works and then chose one. But I'm older and didn't have to do it this way before. I digress. So, as I said, I'm very pro therapy, and I've only been in long-term therapy once. It was like in my 30s after my mom passed. 1997 was a year of a lot of loss for me, including a house fire, a divorce, pets, and my mother passing. So I really needed it. My whole life went in the dumpster at that point, and I was severely depressed. So I was on meds probably for about a year. Yeah. Now, I'm not here for depression this time. I think I may stay in therapy till I pass. I don't know. I did find a very good psychologist who I think is a good match for me. I think very understanding, very empathetic. And yeah, it's definitely not a situation where I need meds or that I'm even depressed. It just helps. It helps. So I would hope that if you ever needed it, that you would look, you would seek it out. I'm very fortunate that this is covered by insurance, or I'm not really sure that I could go down the traditional route. As a medium and an intuitive and a minister, and as a life coach, really, I mean, I've done years of counseling. I always know when to refer someone out because it's more than I can, can be qualified for. Even a ministerial, if you go to a pastor, the education is kind of limited. But I think that I'm in it for some anxieties about my diagnosis and about where this is going. You are my therapist. I've told you that, and don't worry, I'm not letting you go. It's good to talk. It's very good to talk. But I want to work some other things out. It's very interesting that when you have a diagnosis like this, and I mean, we're all terminal, of course. I don't need to hear that in the comments. But not everyone has given, that kind of diagnosis that, hey, it's sooner than you think. I feel that we start exploring the past. I mean, yes, I'd like to talk about the present and things that are going on here and how I can better deal with them. But someone with a terminal illness starts rewinding the film, starts looking at their life and examining, things that happened, paths you could have taken. And it's not even about regrets. It's certainly about, yeah, I wish I'd have done this or that different. But it's like, well, if I had to do it over, I would do that. And I wonder where my life would be now, but not in a sad way. It's just, maybe I'm just preparing notes for, the review room up there, when the time comes. I'm not sure. I just feel like it's been something that I've been needing for a little while. And yeah, I finally got that. And so I wanted to let you know about that because cancer sucks. And as much as I get these loving well wishes from you and support that I can't thank you enough for. I mean, the gratitude in my heart is just strong, very strong. And please keep those comments coming, but I need something more now. And yeah, hopefully that I'm getting it. I've only had 2 sessions, but so far I think it's a pretty good match. So I don't know how much I'll keep you updated on that. I just really wanted to reiterate that if you need it, reach out for it. That's it. And just so you know, it's in person. It's not online. That's not for me. A lot of younger people find that's preferable, which is fine. But anyway, let me move on to another topic. If you have any questions about it, just, please feel free to comment. The mailbag. Oh, I forgot about this. Okay, so I'm looking at my laptop. GWK4GT says in my comments, you seem like a deep and well thought out person. Does knowing your choices of end of life care give you a much greater sense of calm, even if it's a decade away? Yes, it does. I don't think it's a decade away. That would give me even a better sense of calm, but, well, maybe not. I'd have to replace all that stuff I sold at the garage sale. It does. I mean, I might be anxious of when it is, or whether it will be here in Pennsylvania, or whether I'll be able to hasten it in Vermont, or maybe another state by then, something closer. But having planned, or at least explored and investigated options, yeah, it's put my mind at ease in some respects as far as looking at the possibilities and weighing my options. And even though I may need to alter those options depending on how things play out, yeah, it does. It gives me a great sense of calm. And I've said before, I'm not afraid of death because I know in my heart where I'm going to be. But dying is a different story. I've seen people suffer. We've all seen people suffer. And I don't really want to put myself through that. I don't want to put my family through that. If I must, I must. I mean, I do know they give really good drugs now. But, I have a friend, a dear friend, whose mother's been, and she's not doing well. And she's like down to 73 pounds. And I want to be there for my friend. And I don't know that she wants me to be there sometimes. I think that she really wants to do this on her own. And she's one of these people that has a hard time asking for help. And I get that. And my dear, you know who I'm talking about? I love you so much. I really do. And just keep knowing that I'm here. I keep telling you I'm here. I will be there for you. I mean, physically. But I'm going to respect your space. Wow, I really went off on that one. So sorry. It does give me it's a great question, by the way, and thank you. And someone else via her Christmas card, Maria, asked if I have any hobbies or interests that provide me an escape from my cancer. My hobbies and interests change over time. I would say at one time I would have said needlework or crafts, jewelry making. That I still have the supplies. I'm just going to need to get rid of them. Because of my Dupuytren's disease in my hands, I can't do that anymore. That's a great escape. I think being online and making YouTube videos and talking to you is probably providing me a great escape, because I can't work like I did. I mean, my work is pretty sporadic now. So maybe doing a homily at church, or maybe seeing a client here and there. I think that allows me to have purpose. I'm one of these people that just needs to be, not necessarily needing to be busy, but definitely being useful in the world. You know, I'm a giver, so I have a hard time taking, kind of like the friend I was talking about. So right now it is definitely YouTube, planning out the videos. I'm planning on more content this year, as far as maybe a little, like, I want to be light-hearted and everything. And the fact is that my channel is not just about my cancer, it's about making every day count. So not everything can be about cancer, but I'm really working on the content for this year and sort of trying to plan more in advance and not just sometimes I think, well, the day before, maybe I should think about what I want to talk about tomorrow, you know? I would like to do a little bit more, maybe even do more often. But at some point, that might mean that I'm going to be in bed doing this, you know, with my head on the pillow. I don't know. Sorry about that. I mean, I know you guys don't care, but I guess I care. I feel that, you know, I've always been about just show up, you know, make the effort. And if that means I was able to get my makeup on and I went back to bed, then, you know, that's it. I feel when I look like crap, I definitely feel like crap. So it's kind of a fake it till you make it situation. Maria, that was a good question, but again, went off on a little bit of a tangent, I'm afraid. So I also want to talk about one more thing. I want to thank everybody for everything. I mean, going in 2025, I really am looking forward to trying to make the best of it. And I want to say happy birthday to Capricorn. Okay, and now for the moment that at least a 12th of my audience has been looking forward to. Capricorns are really good people. They're loyal, they're dedicated, they can be very determined. They're very sensitive people. And sometimes they're very career driven. It just depends on what else is in their chart. So let's see what the next 6 months, not the next 6 months, the next year is going to bring you. So let's ask Ayoshi. All right, cards are laid out. The theme for your next year is stability. The Earth card can be about literal real estate as well. So there could be a move if you're planning on that. It can be, but it can be literal soil. But a lot of times it's about planting new roots. It's about finding stability in a world of chaos. So I often see it's about change in a lot of ways, but you could either be physically in a new place or mentally in a new place. But usually change will bring about the need to plant new roots or, you know, standing on solid ground. It'll just depend on the other things that we pull up too. So right now, since your birthday at least, a lot of strength. Maybe you've needed to be strong. You know, you could be going through a difficult time, or maybe you're just feeling extra empowered right now. That'll depend on, you know, like I said, this can't be a one fits all. It has to apply to you in a different way than it applies to someone else. And also cycling. Now, this is where stability is going to come in. Cycling actually means new beginnings, but we have to close old doors before we open new ones. Make sense? I'm going to say that This covers the next couple of months, maybe 3 months. Cycling is a very strong card. And I know some of you are going through some changes. Changes are not always bad, but it can even be something like getting rid of toxic people in your life or toxic energies. You know, if you have toxic energies in your life, it's very hard to feel stable. I have to keep going back to that Earth card. And then I'll say in about the break of spring, we have the Doctor of Philosophy. And that card is representative of kind of a spirit guide. It could be angels, you know, it depends on how you see it as who guides you. But they give you strength that, you know, we already talked about, but they allow you to see things with a new set of eyes, a new lens, if you will. And I find this card as a blessing, as if they're letting you know you're not alone. We're going to shift your perspective a little bit, which is going to ease pain or anything else. The other thing is like it could be as simple as if you're having a conflict with someone, the Doctor of Philosophy puts your feet in their shoes and you can see a new perspective. Sometimes the universe does ask us to do that. So let me go into like April, May, and June. The fifth chakra is a light blue and it corresponds to the throat. So it can be a mind, body, or physical level or spiritual. So unless you have thyroid issues or, you know, you're getting an issue with your thyroid corrected, it can be about communication. Okay, so the throat. And a lot of times when I see this card, it means you haven't been communicating, that you need to speak your truth. Now, if I add the Doctor Philosophy card to it, it makes kind of sense that you need to change your perspective and tell people what you want. Capricorns don't always do that. They're sort of peacemakers, peacekeepers. And they're not always about self-care sometimes. You know, they need to ask for help or they need to tell you their feelings are hurt. So, and sometimes it's just about, I need to draw boundaries and how do I express that? So there's definitely a level around April that a level of communicating that needs to happen. So I'm going to say, in order for you to have that Earth card, in order for stability, you may need to clear some things up so that you can get them out of the way. Okay. Then in May and June, because you did that, you have balanced your life and you have either made up with someone and you are friends again or whatever relationship, or that you are going to be making new business connections. Spirit may say, okay, we cleared that up. Now we're going to bring you the right people to your life. And it can be business, it can be family, it can be just, you know, a lot of us still have people that we haven't met yet that we're going to love. People that we love are still yet coming into most of our lives. Now, in what form, how they show up isn't up to us, but that very well could be new friendships that are coming, and that's going to be in the spring, early summer. So summer looks like it's going to be looking good for you. And then we have the second chakra. Looks like the other one, but it's orange. And that's about, if you're trying to have a baby, that's going to be a good time around, let's see, May, June, somewhere in the middle of summer, early fall. It is about creation and it's about procreation. And so if you've been trying, that may come to fruition around that time. The other thing is, if you're someone of, you know, a certain age, like myself, it will probably be about creation. You may be on a new project, and it may, just because that card before it was about new connections or repairing relationships, it may have to do with other people, that you could be co-creating something, but you're feeling very creative, you're feeling motivated. You know, this might be where Capricorn's determination comes out. You know, they do look for the future, you know, Capricorns. And I think once you've communicated your needs, then all the motivation and the things that you want in your life will follow. So it does look good. And we come around again to the fall of next year and early winter. Oh, this is good. The Conqueror card, you have overcome obstacles. Once you're feeling creative and you create a new reality, and you may need that doctor of philosophy to help you out with that, then you have overcome your obstacle and you will find stability. Now, I'm not saying stability will not be yours until next year, or, you know, almost a year from now, but there are always things to be stable about, right? The other thing is maybe that's when you're planning on buying a new home and moving. So again, this is not a one size fits all. It's how you can apply it to your life. So I can give you the cards, but you need to connect the dots on where it affects you personally. And then finally, the card that leads up to your next birthday. This is great. The birth card, which, you know, don't worry, that doesn't mean you're necessarily getting pregnant. It can mean about just, this is about giving new birth to life. This is just about your own life. And you have created with the other card, and you've overcome whatever obstacle was in your way to do that creation. And now, you know, those obstacles are out of the way and you can give birth to new goals and dreams. And so really this time next year, or, you know, up to your birthday, it's going to bring about that change that we talked about with the cycle card, that you're going to probably do this. If obstacles could be removed on their own, you know, or spirit could have a big hand in doing that. Maybe you needed to learn some lessons first. Or it could be that you were just so determined that you did it and, you know, they're up there clapping for you. You're never alone. Remember that, Capricorn, or everyone else. That's it. It's a good spread for you. I mean, it's definitely full of a little bit of drama, and the universe does seem to be asking you to make the best use of your time by overcoming things and making the changes that maybe you've been procrastinating on. There are some procrastinators out there as far as Cancer. So that's that. Okay. I love you all. I will see you again in a few days for another video. Okay. Be blessed. Bye.